I'm going to create Powderade. Like, not Powerade, but Powderade. And it's going to be the lemon lime. You can smell it. And it makes you feel good. And it gives you all your electromites that you need.
I'm already out because you made the flavor an actual thing and not just a color.
Oh, I thought you were out because your pants are ripped right down the crotch.
Well, that
Get back in there!
Falling apart at the
Get back
seams.
in! Hey, everybody. I'm Dane Holland, and I'm just so disappointed.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer. You sinner.
I'm Marcus Whitaker, the motion capture master, known as I'm Electric Man.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and I find weird things.
In the podcast Nerd It Through the Grapevine, where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. That's us. That's what we do. What are we doing today, Marcus?
Well, we're talking about some past nerd culture, some fairly present but yet kind of future nerd culture. So, you know, I've kind of done like my little nerd heroes before. I think Carl Urban was one of my last ones. It was kind of like an unsung hero. I wouldn't call this guy an unsung hero, but the other day I was at an establishment here in town, and they were having trivia night. And the question was, what role did Andrew Serkis play in the film Lord of the Rings? And I just got mad because he was talking about Andy Serkis,
Yes.
one of my heroes.
I was just fixing to correct you. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't think.
No. And yeah, so I was just like, wow, the guy that does trivia doesn't know who this guy is. But yeah, Andy Serkis is like one of my all-time heroes when it comes to movies and stuff like that. I mean, just his nerd cred just continues to grow. So obviously Lord of the Rings is kind of where he got put on the map, and still, in my opinion, deserves an Oscar for his performance in that. But at the time, he was playing a motion capture character, so there was no like precedent for such a performance. So he wasn't even nominated, you know, because there is no, it wasn't considered an actual acting performance at that time.
Purposely avoided the name of the character he played?
Oh, Gollum
Okay.
or Smeagol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought everybody knew that.
Well, some might not.
And I always get him.
Yeah.
I always get him confused with the boss on 13 going on 30.
He actually might be that guy.
Is that what was happening to your voice just now?
He is that guy, isn't
I
he?
don't know what's been going on with my voice recently, but it seems like every time I get into talking about things that I'm not sure about, that's what's wrong with me.
Did you hit second puberty?
Puberty 2.0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super puberty.
And I thought my balls had already dropped.
They
32's the new 12.
There they go again.
But Andy Serkis was one of like the biggest like pioneers of that art form, which would be like motion capture performance. So actors who are like, you know, strapping themselves up to these computers and putting on these little dots and everything on their faces to actually get the performance, but they overlay it with like digital computer graphics and things of that nature. It happens a lot with video games nowadays, which I think is really cool for video games because now you can have like your favorite actors in video games and stuff now, which I think is a really awesome development.
Death Stranding is one of the most recent that like what is the actor's name that
Norman
plays? Reedus?
Yeah.
It looks like the man.
Yeah.
Like he is the actor.
Well, and Keanu for the Cyberpunk thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, Silverhand, Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
So were you talking about that game, Walking Simulator? Because I've heard that that's what that game is. It's walking simulator with a really good storyline.
Yeah, it's hard to pin it down as one thing, but if you want to make it as simplistic as possible, It is a walking simulator of a delivery man through some very rough terrain, if you want to put it that way.
What video game is that you're speaking of?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yes.
They plug into babies.
There's a baby you can plug into.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Very.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Death
Okay.
Stranding.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a real
tripping
thing.
up about
Oh, the baby thing?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so not only is he just cool in that way that he's kind of pioneered the art form of that kind of acting, he's also just been in a lot of cool nerd stuff. I mean, Lord of the Rings was like the first one, and it's obviously one of my favorites. And he was literally like the star of the show. He stole every scene he was in. Another big one for me, Planet of the Apes. So he was Caesar in Planet of the Apes, the main role, voice, facial capture, all of it. Amazing. The third one, not so much, but those first two rebooted Planet of the Apes are still just great stuff. Y'all need to watch.
Wasn't he also in Planet of the Apes?
Oh, you're not on this again.
Or was that Andrew Serkis?
It may have been Andrew Serkis.
Yeah, Andrew Serkis. That's who that was.
Andrew Serkis. Process.
So, and these are just the ones that I'm like a big fan of because he's been in other stuff. Like but he was in The Prestige. He didn't have a very big role, but still,
What was he in The Prestige?
he was Tesla's little sidekick. Like he was Tesla's little guard or like assistant, lab assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the Black Panther movie.
What, really?
Yeah, he was the. I think I haven't. I mean, he's in one of those Marvel movies.
Okay.
Gosh, what else has he done? So he's also become like a producer since his rise to fame. And he produced that. There was a couple different Jungle Book movies that were like heavy on CGI. He produced the better one, I thought, of that, but I am a little bit biased.
I thought you were I Am Electric Man.
Well, sometimes
I'm a little bit
Sometimes.
biased. Electric Man.
I'm a little bit biased, man.
Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Like I get why you went with the other one.
Yeah, yeah.
He's done some video games. I'm not sure any of those really. Well, he was also King Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong movies.
Wait, what?
Playing Kong, yeah. That was Andy Serkis.
Like in a bodysuit?
Yeah,
Like motion capture.
Motion
bodysuit?
capture. He motion captured King Kong.
He motion captured Kong. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't Jack Black.
No,
Oh,
I want to free Kong. Let's not motion capture him. Let's motion free him.
honestly, I wish that it would have been him and Jack Black that had done the motion capture, like splitting down the middle. Like you'd show Kong on one side of things, being like this super serious, I am the king, and then the other one is just him being an ape and just goofing around, just the way Jack Black walks
splashing in the water.
Yeah, just the way Jack Black walks in general, just like watching Kong do that, be like, he walks like a person.
The problem with that is they both have two very different leg lengths. So if you split both men in twain and sew them together, they would not be able to function very well as a human.
Okay, well
in
let's.
that configuration.
Oh no!
No, it would be like a horse costume, but instead of one in the front and one in the back, they're just beside each
Like
other.
one on the right, one
Like,
on the
yeah,
left.
one's controlling with the right side.
So
yeah,
you're
the
not
other
having to
side.
split the men in twain.
Correct. You're
They're
splitting the suit
performing
in
a
twain.
hug.
Yes, it's a hug.
Well,
Okay.
but
I
I was
like that better,
I was
group
thinking
hug.
about just. Well, no, you'd have to put Kyle Gass's legs on Jack Black's body to be able to get the same kind of body style
I
as
don't want
King
to
Kong.
butcher men. How many times do I have to say it?
I'm just talking about if I can just superimpose, not actually chop and splice.
Oh,
Just
lame.
like the way they make Jonah Hill, since he's lost a little bit of weight, look like he's jacked with tiny legs. Like, no, he just looks like he lost some weight. Why are you trying to internet him up?
Andy's line of work is those are a lot of. I mean, well, you said when you say unsung hero, it kind of still applies to him
Maybe,
because there's
yeah.
so many characters he plays that no one has any idea it was him. They love the character, but they never because he does the character so well, and the character's written so well, and the CGI's done so well that you lose the fact that there is a human behind that action.
Yeah.
So I think he is more unsung than you may think. I mean, when you hear his name, yeah, like if you're familiar with,
Yeah.
film and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I definitely don't think he gets the recognition that he
No.
deserves.
Absolutely not. But
Because
it's
he's
not,
he's been one, like I said, I used the word pioneer
Yeah.
of like modern movie magic. They're using this technology all the time now. When they were doing it for Smeagol on Lord of the Rings, they weren't even sure if it was going to work that well, and it just happened to be like the most stunning thing about those movies almost.
Yeah. But we
I know
know
Legolas had great hair.
He really did.
Oh man, it was awesome. But we know famous actors from their faces. Like think Ryan Reynolds. Like if his face was different in every single role he played, I don't think it would be as popular as he is now.
Well, guess y'all will see his face very soon. His real face in The Batman as Alfred.
He's actually playing Alfred?
Andy Serkis is playing Alfred.
As himself. Like, no, not as himself, but you know what I mean. He's not playing
He's not doing a
CGI character,
CGI
yeah.
Alfred.
Has he ever done a role just as his human self?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that-
Well, he was in his human self in the Prestige.
Oh, okay,
and
that's
he
right,
was
that's
in
right.
the Marvel movie as well.
Oh, okay.
So he was like some sort of villain, I'm pretty sure, in one of the Marvel movies.
Oh, okay.
Like he might have been one of the ones that stumbled in onto Wakanda before they
What's your
I don't know.
mouth?
I don't remember.
I mean, this might be a cardinal sin to you, but I have no idea what this man looks like.
I'll show you.
He looks like Smeagol.
It really does.
Yeah, he kind of does.
No, he
Well,
kinda
and that's another thing is that was all his voice.
Oh, okay.
He when he was doing that, he had to have this special tea that was brewed for him and stuff with honey and stuff in it. I don't know. He talks about it as being essential to the character of Smeagol, because of the voice and how hard that was on his voice to pull
Called a
off.
placebo.
Maybe it's possible.
Placebo.
It's possible, but
Placebo.
he swears to it. Also, well, I don't want to just pass it off quite yet, but your topic, one of my things maybe has to do with Andy Serkis for your topic. So I don't know if I'll spoil that quite
yeah,
yet.
You can save that.
But let me just say he played Supreme Leader Snoke in the new Star Wars movies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Andy
crazy.
Serkis is a legend.
Yeah. He is the person you want to get if you have a CGI character you want to seem realistic.
Absolutely.
Andy
He's got the
Serkis-
most experience doing it, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Andy Serkis played the dog in I Am Legend. It was probably one of the most underrated screen capture roles he's ever been in.
Well, he did amazing. His death scene
Yeah.
made me cry
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
I grabbed my little Jude girl,
That's
rest
a
in peace.
dog named Jude.
Yeah, she was my little Scottish Terrier. I had her for 16 years, and she's no longer with us. But anyway, so watching the death scene, I was so sad and upset that I picked her up, and she was like, "Dad, leave me alone." And I'm like, "You're going to cuddle with me, and you're going to like it, and you're going to cuddle with me until I'm finished and feel better about life."
The dog needs to know that it's needed. It needs to know
Yeah.
it needs to be there.
This whole thing of him being in Black Panther has me just doing a quick look up just to see exactly what he did in that movie. And he played the character Ulysses Clow. I'm pretty sure Black Panther beats him up at some point. I'm trying to remember who that character was. When I look at his picture, I remember him, but I couldn't remember his exact role.
I want to say he had he wasn't an American accent. I think he had I think he might have had like a Russian accent or something to him.
Maybe.
Well, he's not American, is he?
No.
He ain't
No,
from
it's
over
I
here.
didn't think so.
Okay.
From over across the pond.
He was a motion capture consultant for Mark Ruffalo and James Spader in Avengers Age of Ultron. So he's because those guys were having to do motion capture, and why not have the god of all motion capture there telling you how to do your job?
Oh, yeah, he was in Age of Ultron.
That's amazing. And he performed a cover of the song "What Is Love" in Black Panther.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Apparently he did.
What? I want to hear that. See, I didn't
Oh,
even know
I
about
know.
that. So he's
Yeah.
a musician as well?
I guess so, or at least at least he can sing.
Gosh, see, I keep discovering new things about him that make me love him even more.
Nude things?
New things, and also
Gross.
William Shatner had an album or
Watch your
two
mouth.
recorded, and that man could not sing. So
That's why he did dramatic readings, and they were great.
So he also did
I'm a
he also
rocket
did the motion capture for Kong in the video game based off of Peter Jackson's movie. So not only did he do all the motion capture for the movie, he turned around and did it for the video game as well, and some for the Lord of the Rings movie tie-in video games.
dang.
Really,
have
Shadow
y'all-
of Mordor, or
No. The when the movies were coming out.
oh, okay,
Back on
got it.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Heavenly Sword, Risen, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego The Hobbit, some game called Volume, and then a game that's to be released called Squadron 42. I don't know.
Yeah,
He
that
does a
one
lot
looks
of work.
So good.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Just
trying
like
to-
he said volume, Austin losing
Yeah.
his mind. He's
Just
never
trying-
heard of that.
Trying to eat up time, guys.
It's good. How's
I
it
can only
taste?
gush about
You know
Andy
what's-
Serkis so much.
How's it taste?
All eyes on you in the center of the ring, just like a circus. That was also a Britney Spears song. I don't know.
Yeah, me
Shaved
neither.
her
Oops, you
head.
did it again.
Yeah.
Free Britney.
You're toxic.
Yes. Good.
I've laughed too much here recently. My chest hurts.
He's not a very old actor either. He's 40. Is he in
He's
his
getting
40s
there.
or 50s?
I would say 50s.
Is he in his 50s?
He's born in. Let me look real quick. Hello, Wikipedia. Oh, dang, I'm on his filmography.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
He was born in 1964.
So 50s? No,
I
almost 50.
can't do math.
Right?
It's
64. What year is it now? Oh, no, it's
Wiki
20.
tells you
20
now.
He's
Oh,
gonna
they
be
are.
he's gonna be 60
Oh, geez.
in 3 years.
No.
So he's 57.
Yeah? Is that how that works?
I don't know. I don't know
64
calculus.
all the way up to that one. So there's 44 years.
Did you carry the
40
one?
years.
Oh man, so he's gonna direct Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Ooh.
Oh.
So he's also a
Director?
producer, director, and he has his own motion capture studio.
I wonder if they use
workshop.
any motion
Heck yeah.
capture in Venom, or if they get the alien symbiotes to actually like be on the screen.
Yeah, right.
And like, all right, no, you're gonna play an alien symbiote named Carnage. All right, I didn't come to this planet to do that. My name's Gamatron, but okay.
Perfect portrayal.
Yeah, that's what happened. It'd be much easier if they used motion capture.
I don't know. I mean, hiring an actor that is also a symbiote seems to be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, but I heard the one that played Venom was a dick.
Yeah, Gamatron was
I mean,
not
Venom
liked
himself was
either.
a dick.
Like, he's not been liked in many movies he's played.
Yeah.
You mentioned Andy being involved in a letdown for a role.
Yeah,
And my topic this evening is big nerd letdowns. I want to know. There are many. I mean, as nerds, you deal with disappointment constantly because of things like fan fiction and headcanon and just, I don't know. There's a lot of things that make you think something should be a lot better than it is. And
Podcasts you're on weekly.
yeah, exactly. Those
Yeah.
they could just the huge nerd letdown. And I want to know what you guys what comes to mind when you think of a nerd letdown that you've had to be involved with. I'll just go and start with mine. I think Superman Returns was probably one of the biggest ones I've ever had to deal with because I wasn't alive when the Superman movies were made originally, right?
Nope.
Those are before my birth.
They were.
And I grew up huge Superman fan, just like my dad, and because of him, actually. And it was just finally a Superman movie was being made in my time. Like I got to see it. We watched Smallville, like we got to see a TV show, but I wanted to see the real silver screen Superman, and I finally got it. And not to the fault of Brandon Routh, who was a great Superman, great Clark Kent.
I really enjoyed his portrayal of both characters.
Yes, because he actually, kind of looked the Christopher Reeve
he really
role.
did.
He really did a good job filling that role. The movie, if you go back and watch it again, knowing this, Superman doesn't throw a punch the whole movie. He doesn't throw a punch the whole movie.
He doesn't throw a punch the whole movie.
Superman doesn't throw a punch. And that's fine. I mean, Superman being a pacifist, it makes sense. Why would he want to throw a punch? But I think the movie needs to be a little bit more geared towards Superman doesn't have to do a punch.
But what if he has
But
to?
what if he has to kind of thing, but he never has to because
Yeah.
he finds a way around it. But no, it was about Lex Luthor trying to get a bunch of land and Superman needing to stop him. So that was and Kevin Spacey was Lex, which is fine. But after having Rosenbaum on Smallville as Lex, like it's hard to have another Lex Luthor that you enjoy.
Michael Rosenbaum is the epitome of Lex Luthor, period.
It was amazing.
I'm sorry, Jesse Eisenberg or whatever his name
Well,
is.
he's
Heisenberg.
Alexander Luthor. So that's a different
I
character.
think it's pronounced Heisenberg.
No, that's
So yeah, that was. I think that was a big letdown for me because I was still pretty young whenever Returns came out. Compared to me now,
he did pick up a mountain of kryptonite.
he did. It was an island of
Yeah,
kryptonite,
yeah.
a whole island.
Well, when it was in the water, and then when it got to the water surface level, then it became a mountain, and then it became a floating island again in the sky. So,
It was just a huge buildup for me from never actually knowing because at that time the resurgence of rebooting superheroes wasn't. I don't think it was huge
Yeah.
at that time, but
It was definitely before the studio started, like before Marvel bought their stuff back, and
Right.
they really started going hard on the comic book
and
stuff.
me being that age, I didn't realize that there would ever be another one. I was like, well, I guess Christopher Reeve was the end, and I was happy to have what I had of him. But I was also bummed that I would never get to see an on-screen, movie Superman. And then I finally got it, and I tried so hard to love it because, like, during the movie, I found myself excited at moments, but that was just because I was seeing it happen. But as far as the movie goes, man, like it was a huge letdown.
you got to admit the appeal of the bullet eyeball scene.
Bullet eyeball scene was great, but I'm pretty sure that was even in the trailer.
Yeah, it was.
So they pretty much showed the coolest moment of the whole movie there. But for me, it was like Man of Steel completely just made up for it tenfold, just because how much I love that movie.
If we could take Man of Steel, and I'm sorry it was Zimmer that did the. I got to go with Williams.
The OTS.
Yeah.
Zimmer's is amazing. I mean, I love John Williams, his music. Zimmer's is more current. I think it's a much more.
Yeah, John Williams has that
now
more
sound.
classical
Yeah.
Hollywood style and
Right.
approach.
I don't know. I just
Hans
feel,
wouldn't be what he is without Williams.
No.
But I think Hans is a much better here and now. But John Williams is a legend that Hans will. I mean, he's working his way up. Not
and
to
I'm
that
not
level.
saying he
but
didn't do anything.
He's
bad.
getting
there. He's
It's just
getting
that I feel like that music is ingrained into my brain with Superman. I mean, even like the Krypton theme. It just I have like certain things in my head, and if it had just been an extra nod to in there in the music in the writing, that would have even been better for me. But that's the only thing that I missed out in the Man of Steel stuff. Everything else I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, kind of what I was alluding to earlier was, I mean, not Snoke's character altogether, but I just feel like he was underused. Like Andy Serkis is Supreme Leader Snoke. Andy Serkis is a Star Wars villain. I was so excited. And yeah, it's just not a whole lot went down. I mean, he did really well with what he had, and I just wish there was more.
There was
For
there was a flip, snip, snip, and I didn't expect it to go that way. But
Yeah, and
neither
the
did
biggest, my biggest, I guess at least most recent, huge nerd letdown, which will be a surprise to zero people who know me, was like seasons 4 through 7 of Game of Thrones,
yeah.
and 8. Sorry.
That's a shared disappointment, I think, in the whole realm of nerdism, for sure.
I mean, how can you go from so good
yeah.
to trash?
That's because they branched into fan fiction.
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
But it's weird that, like, these nerd letdowns, if they're on such a massive scale, like, yeah, there's gonna be some back and forth of people who still liked it and who didn't. But if it's on as massive of a scale as Game of Thrones, because I don't know any,
It's pretty universally
it's pretty universal.
hated.
It is terrible, the ending, at least. But it's this weird, like, bond that all the fans have, like, against it. So you've got, like, this.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if any of that will hold over to the new shows, or if people will just kind of come back with open arms and kind of forgive, knowing that those two guys aren't going to be involved with it. I don't know.
The viewership will not start off the way it could have.
Yeah,
Because
no, you're
many
right.
people, because now, like, I don't care about Game of Thrones now. And I want to. I really want to. But because of the way it went, I just don't care anymore.
I understand. It burns you. It
Yeah.
burns you hard.
Yeah.
They're
I
doing
understand.
another Game of Thrones show.
Yeah, it's going to be set before.
Before.
Yeah, it's going to be set like 300 years early.
Well, I know George R.R. Martin wrote a prequel, which, Mr. Martin, why are you writing prequels and things when you've not even finished the main series of books.
It's called stalling.
Come on, bro.
'Cause
We want to get them and enjoy them and tell you that we enjoy them before you leave us.
True.
Please.
I think it's stalling.
Please.
I have no idea what it is, man.
I think my biggest letdown is Crisis on Infinite Earths, the television series that combined Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and The Flash, and it had the cookings in theory to be something worth watching. I mean, it had the cookings in theory of being a recipe for goodness, because they were taking some iconic characters like Kingdom Come Superman in this post book of Revelations world, like what's happening now, like as this is all taking place, like can we stop it? Like that Superman that has the black on his suit, and he gets
It was
switched.
Brandon Ruth's chance to
And Brandon,
bring back the role.
and I don't. You can call him Ruth Routh. I call him
Brandon
Ralph.
Yeah, it's probably Ralph.
It might be Routh. It might be Ruth. I don't care. But Brandon Routh got to reprise his role as the Superman from Superman Returns. That happened to have the actual conflicts from Kingdom Come happen in his world. And it skipped all that because that's just like a very well-known story. But it took him as that Superman character, and it brought him back. And it was like this big 4-parter. It was released, in like a week span, and then like a 2-month span went by before you got the next one. And it was just, okay, you know what? I haven't used this in a minute. It was hot, stinking, fecal garbage. And I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, they gave you all the parts you wanted to see right at the very beginning of it, with the little scenes of all these different characters, and then they were like, okay, that's gone now. Now you're just going to see the ones that you've always seen in these shows, and
the best part of the entirety of it was, I mean, I don't even remember the storyline to it because it had nothing to do with the actual Crisis on Infinite Earths comic book, besides just a few names that were thrown out there. What I'm seeing on it, though, that I liked the most were the little snippets of what was brought in, including the Easter eggs, because, I've gone back and looked again, and they were actually in the same purgatory as they were in not Smallville, but Supernatural. It's the same purgatory they use in the Supernatural universe.
Now, I'm going to have an opinion that just based on the conversation y'all don't really share with me, and that's okay. For the most part, I'm not really let down by nerdy things because a lot of times I'm just happy that they exist. Not to say that everything's perfect, because I'm like, there's things that I would love to change about several nerdy type things, but there is one, and you all know what it is because I've mentioned it probably twice now, and this will probably be the third time. The Dark Tower movie.
Did you know?
how did we know?
How can you mess up something so awesome and turn it into hot, stinking, fecal garbage?
Garage. How? That's where you keep your hot, stinking, fecal garbage, in the hot, stinking, fecal garage.
Yes. I mean, it was so bad that you couldn't even cut that turd with a poop knife so it would go down. It was the worst movie that I have ever seen in my life.
It's also known as a pie server, correct?
Yeah, because what do you do with that? Nobody cuts a piece of pie the size of that. It's useless for everything except for cutting your poop.
When you cut a pie, you just use a butter knife, and you have to jab it through it, and it makes it all jagged, and you're going to miss some of the crust as you cut it, and you're probably going to poke a hole in the tinfoil at the bottom of the pan too, and it's just going to be a mess. But you're going to scoop it out of that thing with just that. You got to scoop it under the backside of it and put your thumb on top of the pie, so now your thumb's all sticky, and there's little bottom pieces of pie still left in the little pan.
Well, I mean, I'm a grown man, and I live by myself.
You can just eat the pie.
So if I have pie in my fridge, I'm gonna just grab a spoon
at Tiny's house.
and
You can
eat what
never
I want
trust
and
a
then
pie
put the
server.
rest in there. I mean, there is one in the bathroom. I was dating a lady, and she goes, "Why is there a pie server in here?" And I said, "It is a very long story that you're not ready for yet."
I'm surprised
So
you
much
didn't.
deja vu.
I mean, spoiler alert, it's not been used, but I've really thought about it a couple of times.
I'm surprised you didn't keep a full blown trowel in there. And what's that for? Been shitting bricks.
No, that's in my camping bag.
Go and dig your poo hole, poo hole.
So I think my
Pretty much.
newest, biggest nerd disappointment is that segment turning into more poop.
I'm never disappointed by poop.
In that segment alone, we had nerd stuff and farts.
It farts, man.
Yes.
So that's what
And
we are. That's what we're all about.
That's what we be. Wait. So I've been thinking about something, and I've been watching an anime. And this anime is based off of something that, and this is real. I think you refer to this stuff as meta all the time. Is that what it is? When it's like something inside of something that means something else? So that's what you're going to get with this topic. I'm going to talk about the 7 deadly sins.
Like greed, envy, sloth.
Yes.
Confused at your description
Prostitution.
of meta.
Well, because
Uncircumcision.
I am Shazam, and Shazam is
Right.
the one who fights against what?
The 7 deadly sins.
And I've been watching an anime on the television that is called
7 deadly sins.
Yes.
I think that's just
And I'm also going to talk right now in this topic about
right.
what 7 deadly sins do you think you are the most guilty of in your life?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Name them.
You're going to have sloth, gluttony, pride, wrath, envy, lust. Have I said lust?
No, not yet.
And oh man, I'm usually so good at that last one. Name them off for me, Marcus. How far to get?
I don't know. I only counted 3. The one that I have trouble with.
Oh man, that sucks because I can usually name them off the top of my head.
Tiny's on it.
I'm on it.
I know there's one more. There's the 7 deadly sins, not the 6 in the stall.
Okay, there's gluttony, greed, wrath, lust, laziness. I got to click.
That's sloth.
Why did it not click?
The 7th one is elusive.
The 7th. No, did I say greed?
I don't
Yeah.
think you did.
Did you not?
So wait, so it's greed, pride, wrath, gluttony,
That's not it.
sloth,
Lust.
lust, and envy.
Did
Yes.
You said envy.
This time.
Well, I said all
also.
7 just
it? Yeah,
then.
he just said all 7.
Oh, I wasn't counting. I was still clicking. Sorry.
Now here's the thing.
This one has 8. It has the 7 you mentioned.
Oh gosh, what's the
Then
8th sin?
Browse additional article contents. see, there's one.
That's the one I'm
7,
most.
8.
Yeah, that's definitely mine.
Oh no, that's whenever you're trying to find a recipe online and you actually have to browse the contents. Like,
Yeah.
I first discovered lemon meringue when I was a small child.
No, really. I think the 8th. I think the 8th one is the one I'm most guilty of.
Yeah.
Remember
Because
when cream
I'm
pie was a
always.
recipe?
Secrets in the sauce.
You know, the screwed up thing is, at one point, somebody's grandma had to have that done by their grandpa to create your parents, to create you.
I'm sorry.
You're talking about putting sauce in things?
No.
Because I blacked
No.
out for a second.
No, I was talking about courtship and gentlemanly nature.
Oh, okay. Not.
I would
Sex.
The 8th.
hold on, dude. First I called him Great Value Hugh Jackman, and now he's actually sounding like a Wolverine over there in his chair. Just
I'm guilty of the 8th deadliest sin, and that is browsing more articles because if I hear something, I immediately don't think it's true, and I go searching for evidence of that thing. Or instead of just racking my brain, I just go online and find the answer instead of thinking.
That's not a sin.
about it.
okay, so you're guilty of sloth.
Is that what it is? No, that's work. That's doing work. Instead of saying, I don't know, I'll just take whatever I hear as whatever. I go and diligently do the work to find the actual answer.
Yeah, but you cut corners.
What corner did I cut?
I don't know. You said you were doing it lazily.
You got to have primary sources.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Now, when you
exactly.
researched your topic,
Yeah.
did you actually do, your works cited page for the process?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you cannot use the internet because in high school we could not for our reports because the internet never has true facts and it's never accurate.
You'll never have the
stuff you read on
the internet.
Hey,
You'll never
yeah,
have the library
never.
in your
for a
pocket.
good
Come on, Miss
Wikipedia.
Delk. She's the only English teacher that I had that I can remember. The internet can be a valid source of information.
I believe that the use of the internet tells me that I'm guilty of every one of them at some point. And I don't know which one is the strongest for me. I would imagine envy. Envy is something that comes really naturally to me. It's something that I see something, I want something that's not mine. You know, it's something I see like I want to do this. I want to look this way. Why do I not look this way? Oh man, that I want to sound this way. I want to play this way. I want to do this. Like it's always something more.
I mean, I see that in your eyes when you look at me. You're like, I really want that man's body. And I'm not sure if you mean like you want your body to look like mine or, you know, brown chicken, brown cow, you want my body.
No, I just look at you so much because I want to tame your beard and trim it. It hurts me.
I've allowed you to do that.
It looks like a bird has built a nest and
It is not that bad. I will say it does need a trim pretty bad.
Well, I don't know. I mean, who else? You know the 7 deadly sins now because everybody paid attention and listened to them. So who do you think? What do you think you go along with and why?
Marcus, you raised your hand.
Don't tell everybody.
Marcus in the back.
Mr. Whitaker in the back.
It's the only way I can get a word in sometimes. I'm very passive. Sloth for sure.
Oh,
I'm lazy.
no.
I'm lazy.
Are you wearing sweats right now or not?
Yes.
You about GD?
I'm
Are you
lazy.
sweaty in those sweats?
It's fairly warm in this grape sack right now.
Nice.
Perspiration brings
There's
inspiration.
2 other ones. Well, I mean, everybody struggles with lust and things like that.
Do they? Tell us more about that, Marcus.
Is this you telling us that you're addicted to the
Sets.
To the what?
Sets.
to heavy quotations educational films? Because at the beginning of these films, it does say that it's for education and entertainment purposes. And I'm like, how is a movie named Robin Hood for education?
I was pretty sure you were talking about Schoolhouse Rock because I want to fuck Bill so bad.
Just a bill on Capitol. Hey, what are you doing back there, kid?
There was one more that I'm bad for, but I forget it.
Forgetfulness is not one.
Gluttony? Was it
Yeah,
gluttony?
somewhat.
I don't believe
somewhat.
you. I've never seen you shove like a whole bar of that.
Well, it's
delicious
mostly for like sugary
Yeah.
candy stuff.
Man, I've seen,
Ice cream. Literally, I could eat ice cream at any point ever.
just somebody put a video on my face whenever I'm eating a sweet and I think nobody's watching. Like I could just that
Pure
little
ecstasy.
God's watching.
That little wiggle. Nah, he knows. he made me. He knows it's there. No shame.
Hold on. Are you trying to tell me that God sees me when I do everything?
You're thinking of Santa.
Yes, and also
Okay, because there's some things I don't want him to watch me do.
that's
Then you
why
I
better
don't
not
want
be doing it.
anyone to watch me do.
that's why we
Because
still
that's
have
me
lead-based
time.
paint.
Because he's like
Do I have to put that on my wing? Because I don't want to.
Well, if you paint your house in lead-based paint, then God can't see in.
It's like a tinfoil theory.
Yeah,
But it's lead paint.
Yeah.
It's the Superman thing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Kryptonians can't see through lead.
sounds legit.
Gluttony can also count towards things, right? It's not just consumption of food, or is it?
It is a desire to consume.
But I would imagine it would stem to drugs and alcohol maybe as well.
Well, I would think but what about like I'm on Amazon, I see something I want and I have to have it. I want this thing.
that
I have to
could be
consume.
lust.
I'm a consumer.
Lust or gluttony,
That could
either
be
one.
lust, yeah.
I mean, gluttony could there retail gluttony? That's
Is
a
that a
thing.
thing?
Like
Yeah.
where you see something and you can't pass it up, and that happens more often than not. Like say you go to the store and you end up buying things and coming back with things more so than you go to the store just to go. You know. Well, that's the thing. I can't go to a store without needing something because that's what I end up doing. Like if I'm going to the store, I need something. If I'm not needing something, I don't go to the store. I'm not a browser.
Yeah, because like what's weird is like I
No,
don't.
you're a human.
Yeah. Browser is a big turtle dragon. We've already
Damn, I
talked
was
about
going to
this.
make that joke.
Yeah, I use DuckDuckGo, by the way. Just throwing it out there.
You quack. So like on Amazon and things, like I don't watch like TV with commercials, so I don't see that kind of like consumer buy these things like when you were growing up as a kid and you see stuff and like other kids are playing with it and having fun and you got to have it too. Like, so I don't see commercials, but I know I see ads and I know I'm controlled by consumerism, but I get those little bits of joy from having the things. And like, I don't need the things, but I can get them and own them and they're mine. I'm very hard to buy gifts for.
Yep.
Very hard.
Awful.
Because everyone that knows me well knows that if I want it, I own it. Like, I cannot not have it.
No, it's absolutely frustrating.
But you don't own me.
Especially whenever you've got somebody else telling you, like, hey, I've got him this. Make sure he doesn't buy one of these or something like it. And then I'm entrusted with that knowledge for the rest of forever. And I'm like, no, you don't need that. No, you sure? Are you sure? No.
That just makes me want it more, though.
No, that'll be well, you got to think. You might want it right now, but you might not want it here in a little bit. Just let it simmer down on it. Don't buy it!
That's had to happen before. It's like, do not buy this thing. Don't do it. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But then I have to wait.
Yeah.
And I don't do that well. I don't do patience. What would that be? What would no patience be? What would the sin of no patience be? Is that the 9th one?
The sin of no patience?
I don't have I can't have patience. I don't have it.
I thought
think
you were about
maybe-
to start speaking in tongues or something
No.
over there.
I just the idea,
No,
of having thank you.
Did you just say in the middle of that?
no.
I heard my life at the very end of that.
Yeah, it's glossolalia. You hear what you want to hear.
Glossolalia. Mm-hmm. Neato.
That's the 10th one. Glossolalia is the 10th
Fake word.
sin.
Cool.
So, Tiny, what are you thinking?
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, gluttony's one of mine. I'm a large American. You know, that is one of the main sins that we have here in the United States of America.
That is why I
We
enjoy
like
listening
food.
to podcasts.
We like the worst food for us, and we eat copious amounts of it. It's what we do.
America.
America, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
great to listen to an American perspective on the way
All I
he
know
is fake.
is there are many screaming eagles under the hood of that HHR. But anyway, so you can hear the freedom ring, baby.
It doesn't have horsepower.
And
No,
occasionally
just-
flap
just
if one of the
full of-
pieces of duct tape comes off.
Hey, I am still waiting on that part. I need to go buy Carlin Chevrolet. You need to get me my part so I can fix my car, please. I've been waiting for so long.
Last time I was out of a car part,
I mean,
you
gosh.
did it.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, I've even paid him for it.
He keeps getting high pitched about it too.
I
So
know.
you know
And
it's-
my cousin works in the parts department. He's like a manager there. So Justin,
how many names can we drop on this?
See?
Wrath.
Wrath was
Wrath.
one of mine growing up because I had a very rough upbringing and I had to do something with it, and I did some things I'm not proud of because of that.
Would that be the like me hating patience so much I want to kill it? Is that
Maybe.
wrath?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe that's
But if you
wrath.
don't act on it, then it's basically
Greed.
just a thought crime.
Greed is
Right.
would also
And I
be
don't believe in
considering-
thought crimes.
No.
Like that idea of being against the waiting, that would also be in the greed. Or if somebody was to be able to receive products quicker than you, even though they're the same circumstances away from you, as far as how quickly they can get their stuff. Like, say you order your stuff on a Thursday and they get theirs, Friday in the morning, and because it's like, how did they do that? And then you get yours like Sunday afternoon. Like, oh, I wish that I got my packages quicker.
Or like Panera Bread. Not Panera Bread, sorry.
Hold on.
DoorDash constantly delivering my food to the wrong address and people stealing it from me. It's happened 4 times already.
Stop doing it.
And I told him this time, I told the guy who I'm still not convinced was a human and not a bot, because I said, I'm talking to a bot and screaming into a void right now. He goes, Raymond, which is my first name, you are speaking to a human. I'm like, that's exactly what a bot would want me to think now, isn't it? And he had no response to that. And then after, as I'm in the middle of typing a large response, it's well worded, it's professionally hateful. Okay, I didn't attack this person / bot, but I wanted him to know exactly the feelings that I had, not the feelings of hunger, but the feelings of wrath, because I put on my account for DoorDash that the drivers can look at and is printed on every one of my receipts. The address takes you to a weird spot in the middle of the road. It is the large white house on the corner. Do not go to the strip of apartments. Go to the big white house. That's where I live. And they still keep delivering my food to these thieves.
You'd be better off if they just left it in the middle of the road in the weird spot. That,
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
address
just do
says.
that.
Just sit it in the road.
Do
Just
that
put it
and
outside.
Send me a
Call them
text.
still.
Yeah.
Hey, I need a delivery
Yeah.
out to this really weird spot in the middle of the road, out in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, or just text, just make it a thing where you always text the customer. And if you're a customer with a weird GPS thing, tell them when they text you, hey, I'm here to get your order. By the way, I live in a weird spot, and the GPS is crazy.
You know that
Drop the bag out the window.
You know
I'll
that
go get it.
our friend Batman actually works for We Deliver. So if you ever have any trouble with door delivery services, you can always just contact him on that. But yeah, that's the idea. There's a lot more into it as well, just because you'll get to thinking about this more as you go along. You'll get to identifying these little things that you'll be, they're like background activity sometimes, and more they're in the forefront, but there's kind of an aspect of the 7 deadly sins in about everything that we do all the time at this point. And I'm thinking that
Including pooping?
well, and if I mean, you could just always go back to an old Electric Man quote here, and well, hail Satan!
I did not say
He
such a
would-
thing on
he
this
did not.
podcast.
You did.
It's literally recorded. Everything we say
Yeah.
in this room, I can't make things up, and then not be instantly verified by somebody that's listened to all the episodes.
Yeah, these ears have eyes. Remember that.
That was a Wes Craven movie.
Oh. It's your go, ain't it?
He just went.
Oh, wow. I forgot who's talking. Okay, anyway. I'm such an idiot. Okay, so, I am prone to finding strange things across the internet. This is not Tiny's Terrible Tabs, but this
you faked me
came from Tiny's Terrible Tabs.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can make a whole topic about that. So I was on the illustrious website WikiHow. And so I found this article that's how to start a cult.
Let's go. I actually did that just the other day. That's so funny.
You started one or looked it
No,
up?
no, I looked up that.
Oh.
So step one, this is a multi-step, multi-tiered process to starting a cult. So in the first tier, the first step is choose a subject or activity that improves your life. This has a picture of a man thinking about cheese. So
Is this WikiHow?
this is WikiHow.
That's brilliant.
Here's the picture: the man
love
thinking
it.
about cheese. So we're gonna design us a cult right here. So what is an activity that we all enjoy that we can use as the basis for our cult?
Grilling meats.
Oh, yeah,
Eating cheese.
I was gonna
just
say
kidding.
nerd culture because we have a podcast about it.
Okay, Dane's out.
No.
I want
Think
to.
of the merch possibilities.
I want to have. There would be.
Ooh.
We could all wear the same shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Purple shoes. All right, grilling meats is good.
Yeah.
You can put cheese on grilling meats. So I think
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I like playing music,
Okay.
engaging in song with your fellow man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
like playing board games. How do we
I
combine
like
these?
doing a lot of different things.
It
So-
sounds like we all just like a really good like Saturday afternoon.
So basically, like having a barbecue, just having a good old cookout,
Except-
with playing with with like a jam fest or a drum circle.
Yeah, and I'll lead the trance.
Yeah. So
Oh,
That-
yeah.
so we're just gonna call it backyard bonanza. Okay, that's the activity that we enjoy that improves our life.
Oh, is Backyard Bonanza
Yes, it
the cult name?
No.
Yes, it is.
That's the subject or activity that improves our life. Hold on, we haven't got to the naming.
Oh, that's
step
a
yet.
section.
Yeah. So the second step is choose a subject or activity that you can be passionate about. We've done that. It said it twice. So now we need to pick something that we think will benefit others in relation to the backyard bonanza.
When I cook a hamburger, I make sure that I flip it instead of letting it cook all the way through from one side.
Okay.
Who does that? We're providing a service for people who want to relax. Just relax, right? Like,
yeah,
are you
just like-
stressed out? Come to the backyard bonanza.
Yeah.
Just make sure you wear these same kind of Crocs as everybody else back here. They're all going to be purple.
Man, we do have to
Exactly.
wear purple Crocs, don't
But-
we? That sucks.
And can we get purple fezzes? I know where we can get them $13 a pop.
And
Any good cult has that charismatic leader, though, who
Yeah.
gets all the
But
girls.
we're not there yet. We got to follow
who
the
takes
steps.
the people who are coming to get away from, they're coming to have a good laugh, but then you got to have the creepy guy that brings them into some woodshed and tells them something weird.
We haven't got
Does
to
something
the,
to their brain.
We haven't got to the leader sex part yet.
Okay.
Because, obviously people have sex with a leader. That's part of cults. Just listen to the podcast Cults. You find that about all of them.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so step 4, we learn as much as possible about our obsession. So we learn about how to appropriately grill foods and apply cheese to foods.
On charcoal.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And how to keep rhythms for our drum circle. So,
This is sounding amazing. Keep going. What else are we doing?
Okay.
And
tier 2 of the 3-tier system in forming a cult. Now we choose a leader. It says most cults have a single leader. I don't know why that's plural.
leaders.
Yeah, most cults have single. Oh, okay, I read it wrong.
Oh, okay.
Most cults have single leaders, so they're typically called collectives. So we need to elect a leader.
Dwayne.
The
Rock.
Johnson?
I don't know. I thought y'all would like that.
Well, I
love
mean,
it.
I was
I
thinking
love
like
it.
amongst the 4 of us because we are forming this cult. So I
Given-
thought it should be one of us 4.
Everybody do a charisma check.
no, given the actual findings of what this cult is based upon, and it's just about grilling and having a great time and hanging out with your buds and
I'm leading the cult.
Jimmy Buffett.
I don't care what anybody else says. I'm the leader.
I
It's
was
Jimmy
thinking-
Buffett.
Honestly, I was thinking Austin over here because he's a very charismatic man. People are drawn to him, just like the business that he works. I see people nope the place if his car's not there.
Yeah, yeah.
know?
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's my vote is Austin as the leader of this cult. We can all be second command.
No,
know.
I don't want my
I
hierarchy.
just want to be in charge of all the sinister clandestine operation parts.
Well, I mean, our cult can have a 4-part leadership. We can all be a leader, realistically.
I want to be the brainwasher.
Well, I
People
mean,
got to have clean brains around here.
I just thought about it. Whenever I want you to actually make scene change music for live action stuff happening at our parties, so we'd have. All right, guys, it's time to sit down and talk about some business real quick. Dun, 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 dun. Thanks, Marcus.
People would come out here expecting to hear today's hits and stuff, but it would just be me on my MIDI keyboard.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Playing
And
the
everybody would
nerdy
just-
stuff that
and-
I like.
And we're just giving them DMT Kool-Aid, and they don't even realize. And by the time that the music actually hits them, so does the Kool-Aid, and then everybody buys into what I'm saying because I'm furry, and then they think that I might be the second coming.
And I'm walking
I mean,
around
I'm
with
furry,
Boggle.
too.
I've just got
But
a
I'm
board
charismatic.
game. Or,
I mean, you are. No denying
Sorry.
it.
No, it's
so,
okay.
step 2 of tier 2.
no, Marcus got the. Austin was the face of the whole thing. Marcus was the brainwasher, and I was the guy that gets interrupted. It's
Okay.
fine. No, it's fine.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
my role.
sorry. Go-
No, it's
no,
fine.
no.
No, I don't want to talk
No,
about it
no, go
anymore.
ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't
Sorry.
like to talk.
Board game.
No, that's fine.
You said something about a
Go
board game.
ahead,
No,
Dane,
I won't be.
please.
No.
I want you to.
You're
sir.
acting like your son.
I'll be the
please.
sad. I'll be the I'm
He's
throwing
a
fit.
doodle daddy
I'm
that's
throwing a
acting
fit.
like his
No.
son.
I'm the sad one. I'm the one that you point to and go, you don't want to be like him. You want to be one of us, but I'm secretly one
Plus,
of
I think you could deal with the media when they start asking weird questions about what I'm doing.
I think I could deflect.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Yeah, the social
Yeah.
media.
We're gonna need that
Yeah,
a lot.
That'd be good.
I'll be the quiet sad boy at the backyard bonanza, But as soon as the media shows up,
You're over
that's
there
when I
playing
spring
board
into
games by
action.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that whole thing was.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way the party would go. That worked out perfect because I'd be walking around with my board game, and everybody would just be just
don't
doing
wanna.
their own thing, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's fine.
But then I'd be trying to apply like epic music to all the epic stuff you'd be saying in front of the crowd, but then it would get on your nerves, and you'd have to like turn around and be like, "Stop it! Stop hitting the drum when I'm talking. This is important."
What would my
Like I know that's why
role
I'm trying to
be?
make cool music for it.
Your role would probably be there's always
The
that-
organizer.
You
You're
know
a
how
chef, my dude.
You know how the chef
True,
in
true.
all these Disney movies used to just like it's always he's like engulfed in fire and like he's always like sooty from the smoke coming off everything.
Yeah.
That would be your character.
I'm so into that.
Yeah, and you'd
That'd be
always
your
have
nickname, City.
a sooty.
You're like the manager too. Like you're the one that's like organizing our cult right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with all of this.
You can get us like gigs.
Okay. The next thing we need to do, we need to establish the rules of the cult. So, like morals, concepts, ideas.
God, this is the hard part.
Yeah. So, like, what do we not allow at the backyard bonanza?
Well done steaks.
Yes.
Originally would have said Crocs, but apparently that's the shoe of choice of our whole cult.
We also do not allow ketchup on steaks.
No, sorry, you're out.
Yeah, even though I do like a well done steak if it's a specific cut of steak, just because I'm weird.
It's called beef jerky.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, or shoe leather.
Yeah,
Well, if I'm a chef, you will never have a well done steak. I'm sorry.
or a steak well done.
Oh, it will be. The next step will be write up a body of text, which we don't have to do that. We're technically doing it as we go. So then we need to. The next step in this tier is we need to find a place to practice and/or worship. Where would we
grape
hold the
sack,
backyard
baby.
bonanza? Yeah, see, perfect.
Done.
We need to come up with a slogan. All clubs, organizations, cults, they need a good slogan.
What rhymes with bonanza?
Stanza.
Second stanza. Yeah, stanza. That's music. You're doing that in it, right?
I thought stanza was poetry.
That's a poetry. Yeah, well, I mean, poetry is music,
Poetry and
right?
motion.
I hate poetry.
Am I right?
Ooh, maybe it could
Poetry
be
is just a failed song. It's a song with no music to it.
maybe it can be like a
No.
'90s Southern car commercial.
Is acapella
and it
failed
could be
song?
it could be a Nissan Stanza.
Brought to you by Subaru.
Yes, by Subaru. Yeah, Subaru. Yeah, the Nissan Stanza.
Subaru?
And that's the Stanza. That's what
What
happened.
about find your destiny in the meat darkness?
I love it.
Find your destiny
Daddy.
in the meat darkness.
I love it. I really do.
I don't know. I just wanted to use meat darkness from that show that we watched
Oh
earlier.
my gosh! Yeah, from Seven Deadly Sins. My meat partners.
Meat wad.
Meet or meet your darkness.
Meat darkness.
Meet your darkness. MEAT.
Yeah.
Backyard bonanza. Meet your darkness.
Meat darkness. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's funny. Meat darkness is funny.
I mean, yeah, just like Bruce Wayne's. I mean, it was a different shade.
We can come.
About
We'll
60%.
workshop that and come back to it. The next step will be to bring in other people slowly. I feel like that's what we're doing with this podcast.
Absolutely.
We're slowly incorporating them. With the first step is to the grapevine, then slowly into the backyard bonanza.
If you're in the Discord, you're already a part of Backyard Bonanza.
So the backyard
Yes.
bonanza is
Yes.
just a ritual, right?
No, that's the name of the cult. Remember?
That's our meeting.
MEAT.
Okay, that's like our mass,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yes. So part 3 of becoming a cult. Step 1 of part 3 is becoming cultish. Make sure all behavior lines up with the party platform. So, if you're not there to just chill, relax, eat food, have a good time, and you try to eat a well done steak, you're out of here, bub.
gone.
If you refuse any of my brainwashing,
Yeah.
If you play a board game with me, you're out.
The next step is to refer to your concept as the only true idea.
right?
So, that's easy enough. Then we
Man, making a cult's easy.
Yeah. Then we practice our obsession. Okay, that's
Done
easy.
that plenty of times.
Community outreach. That's our podcast. Here we are again. We find ways to grow our group. Discord. Done. That's how we start a cult,
That's
gentlemen.
it?
When do we get tax-free status?
Once we develop an actual
I'm
slogan.
not a lawyer, so we do need an actual slogan, and then you have to apply for, I can't remember the letters and numbers right now. It's late.
I think you have to apply through the IRS.
Yeah. But, we need to, well, it's like you need a congregation, so we are a congregation. You need to have a place to meet. And
MEAT, once again.
and then like a mission statement. That's really what you need to
Create a cult.
to create a cult and
Ooh.
get that
Now,
tax-free
hear me out.
thing.
But
We
you have to be
can-
a full-fledged religion to get the tax-free thing, I think.
We can still get what you want with
well,
Meet
does it-
Darkness.
Does a cult ever call itself a cult?
No,
No, it calls itself
Sometimes.
a religion,
Religion,
or
yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
Our slogan can be "Beat your meat darkness," because we don't allow well done steaks.
I love it. I love
Beat your
everything
meat,
about
Beat
that.
your meat darkness.
Backyard
your meat
bonanza.
darkness.
Backyard Bonanza. Beat your meat darkness.
Backyard bonanza. Beat your meat darkness.
Yeah.
What do you think, fellas?
Beat your meat darkness.
Well, that's a long.
No vegans.
That's a big.
Bonanza.
That's too many spaces. But
I don't know.
we're getting
Depending
there.
on what they look like,
There's not like an ellipse.
I might be okay with it. There's vegan meat, eggplants and tofu. I would allow them.
Or we can
Okay.
go ahead and plot for the future to know what I just got to worry about. You can go backyard bonanza. No one dies, I swear.
Plus,
I'll brainwash
Our
the
vegan-
vegans
our-
into eating our burgers.
I don't know, man. I mean, portobello burgers I heard are really good. Plus, I don't want to alienate people who want to join the bonanza.
You don't. You assimilate them.
Well,
You change their brain chemistry into making you
we
right and them wrong.
start by allowing them to have the choice of being
The illusion
vegan
of
or
choice.
vegetarian, and you just slowly slide your meat in them. That's what you do.
Just hook them up to
So-
an IV.
I think
I'm
veganism.
trying not to disclude anyone.
I think our slogan can still count for veganism because beat your meat darkness. Like your meat darkness is that craving of meat, and to beat that, you can become vegan.
Yeah, but not in our cult.
beat your meat
Okay, yeah, you're right.
darkness.
I just play the board games. I don't know, man. I don't.
Should it be beat your meat darkness or beat our meat darkness?
What about beat the meat darkness? Beat the meat darkness.
The meat darkness
Beat
is
the
what we
meat
preach against.
Darkness.
Yeah.
The meat darkness and the ruining of the meat by overly cooking
You know it when you
Do
feel
we-
the meat darkness.
do
You
we-
start to get the meat sweats.
Do you ever
Do
hear
we
someone?
accept jerking our meat? Because jerk sauce is delicious.
It's delicious. I love it, actually.
I like the idea of a good charred steak, but not when it's charred to the point that you bite into it and it goes crunchy.
Well, if you cook it fast at a high heat, it gets that nice char, and it can come out medium rare.
I think this episode came out medium rare because it was delicious. Thank you all for listening to Nerd It Through the Grapevine, a podcast where four best friends gather weekly and talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. Am I starting a whole new episode at the end? It sounds like it, doesn't it? But I'm not. I'm just getting you prepared for when you go on iTunes and Spotify and you give us ratings and you give us 5 stars. Because if you're going to beat the meat darkness, you're going to want to do it with 5 stars. It's going to take way more than 4.
Yeah, because that's not going to be enough heat to
Correct.
to get that meat.
Correct. You need the heat of 5 stars, 5 live stars. You got to go pretty far to get them, but it's worth it. I
Yeah.
promise.
And if you wanted to get on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, you would find us at Nerd Grapevine. Or if you wanted to get on our Patreon and maybe donate a little bit to the cause, you would receive a Nerd It to the Grapevine sticker and our eternal gratitude. And it would be just really awesome for you to just get in touch with us, and maybe you would take some suggestions like we've had in the past. We get that also from our, what's that other, that thing that that one thing.
Yeah, so we have a Discord. Come join the Backyard Bonanza. Come beat your meat darkness. with all the grapes on the Backyard
spaces.
Bonanza
That's a lot of spaces.
on Discord.
Too many.
And all the grapes are there, live, uncut, and uncensored, uncircumcised.
We
And-
gotta start with
Well, but the super main point is, if you listen to us, you need to get on our Discord. It's Nerded Through the Grapevine podcast. Yes, you can search it and find it. It is a public server. Do that. Join the Backyard Bonanza and beat your meat, darkness.
It's too many spaces.
Just spaces. There's spaces
There's a
between
comma.
words.
There's a comma there.
It's good. No.
Beat your meat, darkness.
There's a comma.
I don't.
It's like you're talking
Well, you
to
say
somebody.
it.
Are you
Well,
talking?
it's like the English teachers always say, "Let's eat grandma," or "Let's eat grandma."
Yeah,
Right.
Beat your meat, darkness. You say it.
Beat your meat,
I
darkness.
want to. I don't hear a difference.
I thought we changed it to thee. Beat the meat.
Yeah, beat
Darkness.
the meat, darkness.
Thy.
Beat thy
Beat
meat.
thy
darkness.
meat,
Ooh.
darkness.
Oh.
Beat thy meat, darkness.
We did it at the end. God gummit.
I just want to throw it out here too. We always wanted him to fall asleep on the episode, and I think he did for a quarter of a second right before the Discord connect. Anyway, this is where we bring it to the end of the show, where I ask the question that's been plaguing everyone's mind all week. Dane, Marcus, when life gives you grapes, he done shut it off.
You get a set of Gary Busey teeth and just smash them.
How you feeling, Gary Busey? I'm feeling pretty dang good. How about you, Gary?